And in the last year, I've gotten to know Dave. I'm so impressed by what he overcame, what he has accomplished, and what he does in giving back to the children everywhere, all over the country, and I think all over the world, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll tell you something else. Dave flew in early so that we could go over to the juvenile detention, along with 2 of our board members and some of our staff, so that he could speak to the kids. And I have to tell you, I was so grateful, but I really had no idea what to expect. So, well, we get there, and the kids are all looking up at Dave, and the first words out of his mouth to the youth in juvenile detention is, "I love you." I thought, oh boy, here we go. But it did not take long, and I was surprised at their reaction. And all of a sudden, they were sitting up, they were paying attention. Dave told his story, and they all were focused. Teenagers. Anyone have teenagers? That's not an easy thing. So Dave gave a wonderful presentation, and when he was finished, there was one young man who stood back, stood to the side, who was craning his neck, moving from one foot to the other, quietly, just hoping that we would pay attention. Someone would notice him, because he wanted to talk to Dave. They did speak, and this young man's story is terrible. And he's paying for his actions, but he wants something different. And that is something that Dave was able to give. A spark of hope, might ignite something different, we don't know. But his life may have been different because of what Dave did. To me, that's a superpower. Dave is a hero in my eyes because in the course of a short afternoon, he changed the lives of I don't know how many children. But even if it's just one, isn't that all that matters? He just changed the life of one. He gave me something to think about. He gave them something to think about and hope. Immediately following this speech by Dave, he'll be selling his book. And when you hear his story, you're all going to want one. Please join me in welcoming Dave Armstrong.
Let's raise a toast, please, to the 407,000 kids in foster care, to changing lives today, because that's the opportunity we have right now, to change a life. So, as we say in Greece, Yamas.
Yamas.
Has anyone here ever saved someone's life? Raise your hand. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wow. You want to put your hands down. 14 people in here, if I counted correctly, has saved someone's life. You know, when I picture someone's life being saved, I picture a fireman or firewoman pulling up in the big engine to a burning building, jumping out of the engine and running into the building and grabbing someone and putting them on their back with this fireman's carrying and running out, laying them on the ground and giving them CPR. Who pictures that? Or a bodyguard. I'm here to protect the president at all costs. I want to save the president's life. There's another type of person that can save someone's life. And you don't have to be a fireman or an EMT or a doctor. You don't have to be a bodyguard. you have to be in this room right now to save a life. That means each and every person sitting at a table today is going to save a life. Have you ever pictured yourself as a lifesaver? Until I got into this line of work, I never pictured myself as a lifesaver. I mean, really, I took CPR. Who took CPR? Right? Now, do you remember all of it? I think I could do the Heimlich maneuver. I hope. I don't know how many pumps. I paid attention, kind of, but it changes. But now, we all have the opportunity to change a life. We all have the opportunity to save a kid's life right now. Why? You see, my CASA, Ron Barnett, saved my life. And if it wasn't for Ron, and if it wasn't for CASA, if it wasn't for his love, his compassion, and his time, this little kid wouldn't be here today. And I don't mean that as like, oh, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't. No, I mean literally I would be dead. I mean, what kid gets arrested when he's 11 years old for felony armed robbery and lives to his 30s, kind of? No. to 48 and gets to talk about it? No. Thank you. I don't want that. What I want is you to save a life. What I want is you to feel empowered to make a difference. So I'm not the anomaly. I don't want to be the anomaly. I don't want to be the very, very few, and I'm talking less than 3% of kids that survive foster care and group homes and detention and gangs. I hate that statistic. So we today are going to change that altogether. We're going to commit to changing 3% to what? 10? Can we commit to 10%? 10% of the kids that we touch today, the lives that we save today, get to tell a story like I am right now because of you. No joke, because of you. So what happens to a 12-year-old that loses his mom? What happens to a 12-year-old that has no aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, no one to take care of him? Except for a stepdad. Yeah, the guy that my mom ended up marrying that would beat the hell out of her. And then when he was done beating her, he said, well, why not? And started beating me. Wow. I'm privileged to be here. And you're privileged to save a life today. And if it wasn't for Ron coming into my life, my CASA, I wouldn't know what love is. And you say, well, wait a minute, you had a mom. Well, my poor mom started drinking heavily and smoking heavily when she was being battered by this guy. I mean, who wouldn't turn to something to find an escape from this horrible, ratchet life that you ended up getting yourself into? I mean, she couldn't bother taking care of me. She didn't protect me from him. So here I am, 12 years old, sitting underneath a bridge after my social worker told me that my mom died, and I ran away from the boys' camp that I was sentenced to for armed robbery when I was 11. And I'm sitting underneath that bridge and I'm going, I want to die. And I could remember the rain, the smell of the rain even, the feeling I had, not in my heart, but in my soul, to no longer exist. I mean, why would you? You have nothing to look forward to. What do you have without hope in life at any age? So I'm sitting underneath that bridge, and I say, forget it. There's no one here for me. There's no light at the end of that tunnel for Dave. And I reach over and I get an empty bottle, and I crack that bottle open, and I try to end my life. Now, I don't want you to feel sorry for that little 12-year-old kid, but what I want you to do is realize that there are a lot of kids that have that despair in their heart when they're 12 years old. I'm not an anomaly. So today, we all get to be Ron in some way, shape, or form. When Ron came into my life and showed me love and compassion, showed me that there was a world outside of the little hood that I was growing up in, showed me that there was something to look forward to, that light just over yonder. You know, sometimes it only takes a spark, just a little spark, to set aflame something so amazing. And we're setting sparks today, you guys. Oh, we're setting sparks. So Ron put that spark into my life. Ron was a pilot in the Air Force. And he would bring me over to his house and show me trinkets from all around the world. Little things from Italy and Japan and Korea and name a country. Israel. He would show me little things from all over the world. And that was the spark that I needed to join the Air Force and serve 24 years. That was the spark that I needed to go, wow, there's a world outside of this little bubble that I'm living in. And I rose my hand, can I be part of that world outside of this bubble? And Ron says, absolutely, Dave. With a little bit of hard work, a little bit of love, a little bit of dedication, you can do amazing things. What Ron didn't take credit for is a little bit of him in my life. Because of Ron, I went on to serve 24 years. Because of Ron, I collected trinkets from all over the world. Because of Ron, I was able to inspire thousands of young people that wanted to see a trinket outside of their bubble. I was able to save lives because of one person. One person that didn't do CPR, didn't save me from a burning building. He just showed up with his heart in his hand and said, Dave, I'm here for you. And that's what our CASAs do. Our CASAs let these kids know that there's someone here for them, to give them a little bit of hope, to ignite a little bit of spark. And boy, we don't know what that spark is going to grow into, do we? But what I want everyone here to do is be a spark in someone's life. Not just as a volunteer, not just as an advocate. By supporting, by giving, by being involved, by caring, in any way, shape, or form, we are saving lives. Raise your hand if you hear me, please. Any way, shape, or form, we're saving lives. And I don't even have to teach you CPR, which I couldn't. So, I offer you that today. The ability to save a kid's life. And I want so much more from our time together that what I want everyone in the room to do right this second is grab your cell phone and throw it out the window. No, don't throw it. Grab your cell phone, go to your calendar, please. Right now, grab your cell phone, everybody. And if I see you not doing it, I'm going to call you out. Grab your cell phone. Hey, wait, and don't pretend like you're doing it. No, don't do that. Go to your cell phone, go to your calendar, and I want you to set a reminder. And I want it to be a reoccurring reminder for you to engage with CASA of Ocean County once a month. Once a month, you're going to do something when that notification pops up to engage with Ocean County CASA and make a difference. And if you don't, Miss Yarzin is going to give me a list of everyone here, and I'm going to show up at your... No. I want to end with this. I want to say that a lot of times we get busy in our lives. We get busy doing this or that or the other. We get busy with going to work for an hour and going back home in traffic for an hour. Is there traffic here in New Jersey? A little bit. I was very surprised when I landed in JFK coming from Greece, and I got onto the highway and the GPS said 30-minute drive to my hotel, but I had a 37-minute delay. And I rose my hand. I said, the math doesn't add up. It didn't take me 37 minutes. It took me
4 hours?
Yeah, probably 4 hours more. So look, I'm going to end with this. We have the opportunity today. We're here today. Our hearts are open today. Let's keep this going. Let's keep the impact going. Let's save some lives. And what I want you to do is have the feeling Ron had when I looked him up after 10 years. And I said, is this Ron Barnett? And he said, yes. And he's well into his 70s at this point. And I said, Ron, this is Dave Armstrong. Dave? I said, yeah, Ron. How are you? Look, Dave Armstrong? The kid that I had? And I said, Ron, look, I wanted to tell you that you saved my life. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I went on to tell him that he gave me hope. He gave me inspiration. He gave me a reason to not die when I was 12. And better than that, Ron gave me a reason to give this to others. So let's give it to others today. Thank you.